Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Alpna, Anjali, Anjan, Akash, Ronak, Lal Babu, Mayank, Muskan, Pradyum, Shivam, Sneha, Sonam, Sunita, Swastika, Uttam, and Ajay. Okay. Good afternoon, all of you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Okay. I hope all of you are fine. So let's start our today's class. Today we are going to discuss about public speaking. Okay. Different modes of addressing a large audience and how can you make your speech interesting, or suppose you are giving speeches and you just forgot what you have to say, and that time how can you manage the situation? That means if your mind goes blank, what can you do to manage the situation? So we are going to discuss about all this. Let's start with modes of addressing a large audience. But before that, let me tell you what is public speaking. Public speaking actually relates to addressing a group of people on formal occasions. Okay, maybe suppose you have to give presentation in front of so many people, in front of a group of people. Okay, or suppose you have to deliver a welcome speech. So at your workplace, you have to face this kind of situation where you have to address a group of people on formal occasions. Now, public speaking requires planning, preparation, and execution. Why? Because if you don't plan, you can't execute well, right? So planning is important. You have to prepare also to deliver to deliver speeches publicly in front of a group of people, right, on formal occasions. So you have to prepare yourself for that. So it requires planning, preparation, and perfect execution. Whatever you have planned, you have to execute properly. So these are the requirement: planning, preparation, and execution. Okay. Okay. So now all of you know what is public speaking. Now we are going to discuss about different modes of public speaking. Here you can see there are three modes of public speaking: storytelling, elocution, and extempore speech. Now, what is storytelling? These are the modes, and I will also tell you some examples where you can use this mode. At first, start with storytelling. Okay. So, what is storytelling mode? Storytelling, it is a method, we can say it is a wonderful tool to communicate with others. Why it is a wonderful tool? Because it helps us develop our imagination and creativity. Whenever you will describe something in front of people, it will help you to develop your imagination, your creativity, because you will describe, right, in your own words. So it will definitely develop your imagination and creativity and expression also. And it will also teach you how to be captivating in your expression, so that you are able to engage your audience in your speech. That means your audience will be interested to listen to your speech. You'll be able to engage them in this process. Now, storytelling, where you can use this method. Suppose you are giving presentation in front of people, and you want to give some examples, your real life examples. That time you can use this mode or method, you can say, of storytelling, because if you use this mode, that is storytelling, it will help you sound more natural, not scripted, right? If you just prepare, obviously preparation is needed, preparation is very much essential, but at the same time you have to sound more natural. And how can you sound more natural? You have to include some examples, some real life examples, some examples from your own experiences. It will help you sound more natural, not scripted. And while delivering or saying some examples, some real life examples, you can use this method, storytelling. Now, how can you develop the art of storytelling? This method is very much, what can I say, very much effective. Okay, very much effective. But how can you develop this art? Storytelling, it's art. Not everyone can do this effectively. It's an art. So how can you develop the art of storytelling? Involve yourself with the task wholeheartedly. Whenever you are describing something, you have to involve yourself wholeheartedly. Okay. And second is, you can use facial expressions. That is non-vowel gestures. So you have to use facial expressions. Whatever you are saying, it should reflect your feelings. Right? It should reflect your feelings. So you have to use that kind of facial expressions, which shows that you are describing about your own experiences. You are actually through your facial expressions, it will reflect that you are enjoying while describing something, right? That means whenever you are describing something, if you don't use proper facial expressions, it will reflect that whatever you are saying, those are scripted, not your own words. And if you use proper facial expressions, proper body gestures, and if you involve yourself wholeheartedly, it will reflect that you are involved with the task wholeheartedly, and those are your own words. Okay, so always try to involve yourself with the task wholeheartedly and use facial expressions. And yes, while describing something, you have to follow proper, stress, voice modulation. Yes, voice modulation. That means you have to put proper stress on proper words. That the main point is you have to pronounce correctly. So correct pronunciation is also necessary, and the volume of your voice where appropriate, you have to use appropriate volume of your voice. That means the tone, that rising tone, falling tone, rising, falling tone, wherever necessary, you have to use appropriate tone and volume, and stress also. Okay, these are the things you should remember while using storytelling mode. The main purpose of this method is to make your audience engaged. Okay, you have to engage your audience, you have to hold the attention of your audience, and that's why this mode is important. Now, next is elocution. What is elocution? Elocution actually refers to one's power of expressing strong emotions in striking and appropriate language and with the power of influencing others. That means, let me tell you very, simply, elocution is actually the manner of speaking with clarity of meaning and thought. That means whatever you are saying, it should be very clear. There should be clarity of meaning and thought. Because whenever you are going to address uh, a group of people on formal occasions, you have to be clear regarding your ideas and concept, whatever you have, whatever you are saying, there should be clarity, right? So, elocution is speaking with clarity of meaning and thought. Okay, if you are able to express your emotions in striking and appropriate language, and if you can influence others with your ideas, then you can think that yes, you are successful. And this process is elocution. That means expressing strong emotions in striking and appropriate language, and there should be clarity of meaning and thought, whatever you are saying. Now, how can we develop the art of elocution? This is also an art. Storytelling is also an art. I have told you, elocution is also an art. So, how can you develop the art of elocution? Always speak naturally with well controlled and modulated voice so that your audience get convinced, get influenced by your ideas. Okay, so always try to speak naturally. And voice modulation is important. I am telling you again and again. Second is do not get nervous. Nervousness is very natural. Yes, nervousness is very natural, but you have to control your nervousness. And how can you control your nervousness? How can you combat your stage fright? We already discussed, and again we will discuss in our today's class how can you combat stage fright. So you have to control your nervousness. Don't get nervous, because if you get nervous, you will not be able to deliver uh, your ideas properly. Whatever you have planning, now you have to you have to execute your planning successfully. And if you get nervous, you will not be able to successful to in proper execution of your ideas, right? So you have to control your nervousness, and always use proper gestures. Okay, positive gestures are important. Always maintain eye contact. uh, don't put your hands in your pocket, or don't fiddle with your hands or ears. Okay, don't fold your arms. So these are, you all know, these are very common. So you have to use positive body gestures. You have to show that you are interested to communicate with your audience. Okay, you have to involve with the task wholeheartedly. This is the main thing. This is the essence. You have to feel that. Yes. So these are the main important points of elocution. Yes, while giving presentation also you can use this method elocution, because uh, clarity of meaning and thought is also very necessary while giving presentation, right? So elocution can be used also this in the while giving presentation. Now, extempore speech. Okay. So extempore extempore refers to the task of delivering a speech without much preparation. You will don't get enough time to take preparation. You have to prepare yourself instantly. You have to gather your thoughts. You have to recollect your thoughts within a short span of time, and you have to deliver the speech. So you will not get enough time for taking preparation. And extempore, as I have told you, refers to the task of delivering talk or address without much preparation. Now, if you don't get enough time to take preparation, it may seem a challenging task, isn't it? Yes, it's a challenging task, but at the same time, you will get an opportunity to develop both your communication skill and time management. Right? If you don't get enough time, and if you have to deliver the speech instantly, it pushes you to produce ideas without any preparation, right? And it will also improve your logical thinking and reasoning ability, because you have to recollect your thought instantly and you have to deliver the speech, right? So yes, it's a challenging task, but at the same time, it will develop all other qualities also. That's why it is good. Now, while giving extempore speech, you have to use your presence of mind. You have to remain confident. You have to recollect your thoughts quickly, and then you have to deliver your speech. But what is very important, you should remember that do not rush. You know, always remember that hurry is not a good option. You have to deliver the speech instantly, but don't get nervous and do not rush. Okay, try to understand the topic given and then try to recollect your thoughts and slowly start the process. Another thing is, while giving extempore speech, always use some examples from your own experiences. It will make you sound more natural. I'm telling you again and again, always try to sound natural, not scripted. Preparation is important, but natural. You should sound more natural. And if you are able to deliver your speech naturally, then you will be able to hold the attention of your audience, because holding the attention is very important. You have to hold the attention of the audience, right? If you deliver your speech in a boring and monotonous way, nobody would like to listen to you. You have to hold the attention, and for that you have to sound more natural. You have to start your speech. um, yes, you have to start your speech uh, attractively. Like you can start with some quotation different from others, like some quotation or some startling question to the audience, okay, or some statement you can start. So you have to be different from others, and you have to start in a different way so that you can hold the attention of the audience. Okay. Yes, here again, while giving extempore speech, confidence is important. You have to be confident enough while delivering your speech. You have to control your nervousness, and you have to exhibit positive body language. Body language is very important, and you have to be more energetic while giving speech. So, these are the important points. Now, let me see who are there in the class at first. Ajay, Alpna, Anjali, Anjan, Arshia, Asis, Akash, Ronak, Lal Babu, Manjeet, Mayank, Mili, Muskan, Nilesh, Pradyum, Pooja, Sonam, Sunita, Swastika, and Uttam. Okay, very good. Now, all of you tell me, do you have any confusion? We have discussed about storytelling method, elocution, and extempore. Do you have any kind of confusions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
No, ma'am.
okay. Now we are going to discuss about very common problem. You may face this kind of situation. Suppose you are giving speech, okay, and your mind goes blank. You can't remember what to say next. In that situation, what should you do? Any solution? Tell me. I will definitely suggest you, but before that, I want to know what do you think?
Ma'am, go forward away, ma'am. Don't stop to speak. If when
Okay.
ma'am we have not having any words, then we go ahead for the speech.
Okay. Okay, very good, Akash. Any other solution?
When we don't remember what we have remembered about the speech, what we have prepared about the speech, then we should be creative and create some points like natural ideas. We have to create on the spot.
Yes, presence of mind.
Anything.
Yes, Anjali. Very good. Any other solution?
We can ask audience about their doubts.
Very good.
And then it will shift to them.
Yes, Anjali. It's a very good trick. Yes, you can ask questions. Very good. Any other solution? Okay. Okay. So, if you face this kind of situation when your mind goes blank and if you can't remember what to say next, never apologize. If you face this kind of situation, never apologize to the audience, sorry, and this kind of. No need to apologize. It's very natural. It may happen. Now you have to manage the situation. What you can do is you can take short pauses. Taking short pauses is very natural while giving speeches. It's not possible to continue to maintain continuous flow and all. No, taking short pauses very natural. So you can take short pauses, and if you take short pauses, you will get some time to recollect your thoughts, and then again you can continue. Okay. Another trick is you can paraphrase whatever you have said earlier. So you can paraphrase the same what you have told. Okay, and while paraphrasing, you will again get some time to recollect your thought. Another trick is, as Anjali has said, you can ask some questions to your audience. Okay, if you ask some questions to the audience and they will give the answers, and in this process, you will again get some time to think what to say next. Okay, and any other solution? Yes, you have to use your presence of mind, and you have to manage the situation. Maybe you forget one point, but you can go forward with another point. So don't apologize. You have to manage the situation and use your presence of mind. Okay, and these are the tricks I have told you. You can take short pauses, you can paraphrase whatever you have said earlier, and you can ask some questions to the audiences. Your audience. Right. Okay. So this is how you can manage the situation if your mind goes blank. These are the patterns of public speaking we will definitely discuss, but At first, we should discuss about how can you make your speech interesting. Then we will discuss about different types and patterns. Okay. So, making speeches interesting. How can you make your speech interesting? Here you can see very common ways like making your beginnings catchy, use humor and wit, use body language appropriately, employ proper voice modulation, use examples and instances, and end emphatically. Now, do you want to suggest any other point? All of you, please say. How can you make your speech interesting? Because if you don't make your speech interesting, you will not be able to hold the attention of the audience, right? So you have to hold the attention, and for that you have to employ different ways. These are the ways, but there are some other ways also. Do you want to suggest some other ways? How can you make your speech interesting, or how can you hold the attention of your audience?
Use latest news.
Latest news. But that should be relevant to your topic, right? How can you um, if then that latest news is not relevant to your topic, then how can you say, isn't it? That should be relevant to your topic.
Use of short quotes in speech.
Yes, very good. Quotations. Okay. First point is make your beginning sketchy. So, as I have told you, like whenever you will start your speech, try to start differently, different from others. Like you can start with some quotations or some statement, or you can even start with some startling questions addressing to the audience. You can ask directly to your audience while starting. Like suppose you have started with some quotation, and you can ask your audience, is it true, or whether they agree or not. So you can simply start with a startling question, or some quotations, some motivating quotations maybe, or some other quotations, some other beautiful quotations, or some statement. So you have to be different from others. In this way you can make your beginnings catchy, and the main purpose is to hold the attention.
Can we use any joke?
Well, yes, joke you can use, but in the middle of your speech, not at the beginning, I suggest. At the beginning, joke will not be appropriate, I think personally. Yes, obviously.
Then we should ask any question.
Yes, asking questions, as I have told you, that you can start with some quotations or some statement, and then you can ask your audience whether they agree or not, or what they think about the quotation or statement. Because if your beginning is attractive, catchy, then it will be very easier for you to hold the attention for the rest time. They will be, involved in your speech. Whatever you were saying, they will be very attentively, they will listen to you. Because, sorry. Very sorry. Because, yes. So, as I have told you that, you have to remember that regularly we listen to so many speeches, but most of the speeches are forgotten, isn't it? But why? At first, think about the reason. Why most of the speeches are forgotten? Why don't we remember all the speeches we listen? Why? What's the reason? What do they lack? Information, ideas, or data? No, the reason is those speeches are not interesting. That's why we don't remember it. That's why those speeches are forgotten. So we have to make our speeches interesting, different from others. Okay, and these are the ways. First is make your beginnings catchy. Next is use humor and wit. So you have to use humor and wit. Witty speech is always adorable, but you have to use appropriately. So you should have the capability to use witty speeches, right? And witty speech, as I have told you, is always adorable. You can use humor also, like cracking jokes in the middle of your speech to make the ambience more friendly, to relieve the tension of yes. Next is use body language appropriately. So body language is very important. Positive body posture you have to use. Next is voice modulation. Yes, you have to employ proper voice modulation. You have to be more energetic.